Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't worry, I'm still going to be including teacher content on this channel, even though I am taking a year off this upcoming school year. In this video, I just wanted to share 7 tips for either new teachers or teachers in general. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I hope that you find it helpful, and if you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so I'm only gonna share 7 tips in this video, that way this video doesn't last all day. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop your question down below and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay, so let's get into it. The first tip is classroom management, of course. So classroom management is literally everything. It's already July. I already see teachers in the classroom getting their classrooms all cute and ready for this school year, and that's awesome. But definitely don't forget to spend an extensive amount of time thinking of classroom management. So my first 2 years of teaching, classroom management was great. I did have kids with behavior issues my first 2 years, but we managed, and because classroom management was effective those 2 years, I was still able to teach and the classroom was still running pretty smoothly. This past year, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna implement the same classroom management that I have been doing. So because my classroom management was strong my first 2 years, when my 3rd year was coming up, I just figured I would implement the same things that I have been using because it was working. But I was so wrong. My 3rd year, none of my classroom management procedures worked. Literally none of them. Your first day of school will tell you a lot about how the school year is gonna go. And it was the first day of school, and I felt like I had absolutely no control of my second class. To the point where when the first day of school ended, I went home, I collapsed on the couch, and I was like, what even happened today? Like, what was that all about? How did I not have control in there? And I just kind of thought, oh, it was just the first day of school. That was weird. Usually the first day of school is really fun, but it wasn't for me. And really that's exactly how the whole school year went for my second class. I really didn't have any control of the classroom. I have behavior issues, a lot of them, but it wasn't like behavior issues that I've had in the previous years. It was nothing like that. So my advice really is to have a list of classroom management strategies, just in case the first one that you thought normally worked, or the first one that you saw worked among other teachers in their classrooms, like just in case that one doesn't work, you'll know what strategy to use next. So for me, I kept trying to make my classroom management work because I'm like, it's worked in the past 2 years, why isn't it working this year? So I kept trying to make it work, and instead of thinking, okay, that's not working, what can I do now? By the time I got to that point where I was like, okay, I need a new plan, none of that is working, it was kind of already too late. Like, my kids just knew they were running the show this year. So that really sucked. So that's my advice to you. Have a list of classroom management strategies just in case the first few don't work. Okay, so my next advice is parent-teacher communication. Have a really good system for that. So this could be Class Tag, Class Dojo, just something like that. Just a really good system to easily communicate with parents. I feel like this past 3rd year, I really just couldn't find the time to call parents. Like, as soon as that last spell ended, I was like, okay, like, I'm out of here too. I'm not gonna sit here and call parents. I feel like there was a lot of parents that didn't even hear from me all year, just because if I didn't have issues with your kid, then you probably didn't hear from me. That's really not fair. You know, they should still be hearing from me and just hearing how amazing their kids are doing and the growth that I've been seeing. Those positive calls are everything. And this past year, I did not have time for it. So find a site that works for you, that works for the parents in your classroom, and run with that. Okay, this one's a big one too. Boundaries. Boundaries to avoid teacher burnout. There's a show on, I think it's on Hulu, but it's called Abbott Elementary. But the whole show is about a school It's about a group of teachers and their experience at this school. So there's some new teachers in this show and there's some veteran teachers. And one of the new teachers, she's like really consumed by trying to make a difference, trying to make change, trying to make things better for her students because resources are limited. So she's really trying to bring about change, but she finds herself getting so incredibly burnt out because she's like trying to fix things herself. And I feel like that's how a lot of us are, especially our first few years. Like, we quickly realize the need for change and we're trying to be the superheroes that our kids need. And so anyway, she's venting to the older teacher about it, and the older teacher, which really stuck out to me, she was like, you don't think we care? Like, we care just as much as you do, but we just know we can't be consumed by trying to make a difference, you know, because then we're gonna get burnt out, and then who's gonna be here for the kids when we're burnt out? And it's so true. Like, there's so many teachers leaving the field, including myself, because we're so burnt out. We've burnt ourselves out. We have no more to give anymore. And it's like, if all of us leave, then who then is going to be in the classroom? That stuck with me because I'm like, okay, when I go back to teaching, I'm going to set up boundaries like crazy. And I feel like I already had set those boundaries. Like, I left as soon as my last student left. Like, sometimes I'd be walking right behind them. I never took anything home, ever. Not to grade, not to think of extra activities, nothing. I never brought anything home. Didn't open up my laptop when I got home. But I'm already thinking about ways that I'm gonna do better with boundaries. So that's definitely something to think about before the school year starts. Like, think about things you're not gonna do, whether it's like, okay, I'm not gonna bring anything home, or if you do, at what time are you going to stop planning? If you're not gonna answer to emails after your contract hours, or if you are, like, at what time are you going to close your laptop and not check your email anymore? Things like that. And I think that would definitely help with burnout this school year. Okay, another one is less is more, and this goes for everything. Less is more in your classroom decor, homework, testing, everything. Less is more. It applies to almost everything. Okay, the next one is organization. To me, organization is everything as well, especially with teaching. Paper flow is a ton. You can easily have a stack of papers on your desk of things that you just got this morning. To me, I'm like, okay, as soon as I get a paper from the office or 5 papers of the office, I do it and I send it. Like, I just get everything done. So yeah, try not to procrastinate when those papers start flowing in, especially like once the quarter ends and you have all this stuff to do, report cards, grades, missing grades, teacher comments, like, all of that is just so much. Get the paperwork done as soon as possible because there's gonna be paperwork coming in every single day. And then last tip, hopefully this video wasn't too long, but just expect it to be hard. It's gonna be hard. And if it's not hard, that's amazing. Like, my first school year, I feel like it wasn't hard, but I expected it to be hard. So when it came around, I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. Like, I really have the hang of this. And then my second year, it got a little easier, even though we did have like COVID going on, things were different. I had to figure things out all over again. But then my third year, I'm expecting it to be easy. I'm expecting it to be easier because, you know, they say every year gets easier. Wrong. My third year was just like, what the heck? Why is this like this? You know, it was so hard. So expect it to be hard, but know that it's so incredibly rewarding being a teacher. Like, even though this past school year was like the death of me, I'm so glad I finished it out. So anyways, expect it to be hard. Know that it will be hard. Find your people. And what I mean by that is, like, there are people that can easily make your school year a lot more stressful than it needs to be. And there's your people that are like your saving grace. When you're with them, you feel safe, you feel like everything's gonna get better, they're a huge encouragement to you. Like, those are the people you really need to surround yourself during your teaching years, because you need them. So anyways, expect it to be hard, find your people, and I think you'll survive. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful school year. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop your question down below and I'll be happy to answer it. I will see you guys in my next video.